our stories and experiences. The best way to support a friend or a family member who may tell you they are experiencing violence in their relationship is to know resources. Here in Alachua County, as well as Bradford and Union counties, Peaceful Paths is that resource. We are here to educate so that everyone knows violence in relationships is never acceptable, that batterers should be held accountable, and that violence is never the survivor's fault. Peaceful Paths' main outreach office is right here in Gainesville, and this community is incredibly important to the work we do every day. I'd like to introduce Mayor Harvey Ward and welcome him to say a few words.
Well, there we go. Good afternoon, Gainesville. Come on, good afternoon, Gainesville. Good
afternoon.
It feels like the first day of fall out here, maybe, right? Yeah, it feels good. It's a great weekend to be out here. I know there are a lot of places that you all could be, many things that you all could do with your time, but I really appreciate you coming out this afternoon to support Peaceful Paths, and more importantly, to support the people whose lives have been improved and saved by the work that goes on at Peaceful Paths. Big hand for that, yes? We can talk about the more than 800 survivors who are helped every year, the more than 300 children of those survivors who are helped every year by Peaceful Paths. But I want us to focus more importantly on what comes next for all those folks, what comes next for our community, the healing and the growing that happens because of the work that Peaceful Paths continues to do. And I want you to know that not every community has Peaceful Paths to depend on, that not every community has the kind of shelter and growth opportunity that we have right here in Gainesville and in Alachua County. So know that this is something bigger and different that happens in many communities. And it's something that we have because our community is resilient and intentional about how we treat each other. And this is non-common in every place you go. So a big thank you to everyone who does anything for Peaceful Paths and to our entire community for being the wonderful, loving, supportive community that Gainesville and Alachua County are. And thank you once again to everyone who works at and for and with Peaceful Paths. I'm proud to be able to be here and welcome you to downtown Gainesville on this amazing Sunday afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Over 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men in the U.S. will experience rape, physical violence, and or stalking by an intimate partner in their lifetime. These numbers may seem surprisingly high, but we actually know that domestic violence is underreported, with some people never telling anyone and never seeking support services. The best indicator of a victim becoming a survivor is connection with their local domestic violence center. Our local law enforcement officers follow lethality assessment protocols that are designed to connect from the scene a victim of domestic violence to Peaceful Paths Helpline, where they can have a confidential conversation with a state-certified domestic violence advocate. Our relationship with the Alachua County Sheriff's Office and Gainesville Police Department are critical connections for victims who seek the support of law enforcement. I'd like to introduce Sheriff Chad Scott to speak with you today.
First, I want to say that as Sheriff of Alachua County, I support domestic violence. I want every survivor out here to know today that your sheriff really supports you, I love you, and we're behind you. I want to begin by thanking Peaceful Paths for the incredible work they do every day, every single day, and bringing us together this morning for the very first Strength and Strides walk. It's truly powerful to see so many of you here standing shoulder to shoulder in support of survivors and their families. Domestic violence is something that touches every community, including ours. Behind every call for help, there's a person, someone's child, parent, friend, or neighbor who deserves safety, dignity, and peace in their life. Far too often, these stories go unseen or unheard. Today, by walking together, we're saying loudly and clearly, we see you, we hear you, and you're not alone. As your sheriff, I want you to know that we are committed to doing everything we can to protect victims and hold abusers accountable. But this is not a fight law enforcement can win on its own. It takes all of us. It takes partnerships, compassion, and courage to step forward just like you are doing today. Every step we take on this wall is a step toward healing and change. And my hope is that when we leave here today, we carry the message into our homes, our neighborhoods, our workplaces, that love should never hurt and that everyone deserves to feel safe. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring. And thank you for reminding us all that together we are all stronger. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Unfortunately, not all victims of intimate dating violence live to become survivors. Access to a weapon increases the risk for domestic violence victims, with the presence of a gun in domestic violence situations increasing the risk of homicide for women by 500%. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, on average, more than 3 women and 1 man are murdered by their intimate partners in the United States every day. And in 70 to 80% of intimate partner homicides, no matter which partner was killed, the man physically abused the woman before the murder occurred. I now would like to call for a moment of silence for all the victims of domestic violence who have lost their lives. Thank you for recognizing the loss of community members who were victims of domestic violence, intimate partner violence, and dating violence. However, in addition to remembrance, today is a day to celebrate the successes of many survivors who have left realities of violence, who have conquered barriers, who have overcome the social stigma, and have succeeded in increasing safety and stability for themselves and their children. Today is a celebration of stories. You can see survivor-created t-shirts displayed on the clothesline, representing their individual stories. And now, I would like to introduce Nathan, Amy, Tanisha, and Sabrina, 3 Peaceful Paths advocates and our residential director, who will be reading anonymous statements contributed by survivors.
After long nights of crying and fighting, I asked myself, how long can I take this abuse? How long before I give up on myself? Finally, after not feeling loved anymore, I knew it was time for a change. Without anywhere to go, I still managed to pack my things and baby stuff and left everything behind. One night, sleeping in the car was a new start for us. Then we came into shelter, with a new mindset and having peace and new goals. What a big blessing. We made it.
Children and I walked into Peaceful Paths domestic violence shelter. We walked in with nothing but a trash bag full of clothes. We had left everything behind. Our clothes, our most prized possessions, our home, our pet, our friends, and our family. It was the hardest decision of my life. I felt defeated, humiliated, exhausted. I felt I had failed my children as their mother. Our 8 weeks there, we recovered in support. When school started, I was scared because I didn't know how I could provide school supplies. It was provided. On days when I felt that I just wanted to give up, there was staff there to remind me that we'd made it this far, to not give up. I was finally able to talk about things I'd been unable to talk about before. It was scary, but I was free. Freedom. After 8 weeks, my sister offered us a place to live, and so we moved in with her. Then a month later, I applied and was hired for a job with better pay and benefits. Little by little, our life started to evolve. I recently received a significant raise at my job. I bought a new car. I recently got engaged, and my fiance and I built a house. Yes, we went from living in the domestic violence shelter to our very first new house. Peaceful Paths planted that seed. They gave us the chance to get out safely and have a new life. It's hard. It isn't easy. I spent many times crying and wondering if I could do it. But when you see the people around you fighting for you relentlessly, it makes you want to fight harder too. So thank you. Thank you for saving our lives and giving us the chance to have a better life. Without you and the shelter, it wouldn't have been possible. This is what freedom looks like. Hope made it possible.
I can now hope for peace in my future. My biggest hope for this year is for my boys and I to settle into our new home and feel stability. I felt hopeless in my relationship. I didn't see a way out without a job or money, but that changed when I began asking for help, and now I'm out. Being hopeful has changed my life because I don't live in hypervigilance or fear anymore. My boys and I have a lot more laughter and fun together now. I want other survivors to know that Peaceful Paths is so much more than emergency shelter. I wish I'd known that. I would have been here years before. The support and resources have been everything.
I was in a very abusive relationship, not only physical, but mental and physical as well as emotional. I didn't know where to go or who to trust. When I finally had enough and stood up for what I wanted for me and my children, I was able to get out and get away. As time passed, I was feeling terrified. We both had a lot of the same friends, and I was afraid he would find me. I was referred to call Peaceful Paths. I didn't call right away because it was uneasy to talk to strangers and tell people what I was going through. But I kept, day by day, living in fear until I finally picked up the phone and called. Once Peaceful Path told me to come and they could help, I was relieved and still scared at the same time. I decided to go, and that was the best decision we made in a long time. Once I got there, the counselors were very nice and made me feel very welcome. They were very easy to talk to and open up to. Right away, I thank God for leading me in the direction I needed to be. Peaceful Path gave me the hope and a sense of real security. They allowed me to find myself again. I attended support groups and also one-on-one counseling. They helped me to believe in myself again. I am truly grateful for all the help and genuine kindness that have been given to me and my family. I am hoping I can help other women who are going through bad situations feel confident again and do better, because we all deserve to live peacefully.
May these powerful shared stories inspire you today as you begin your walk and as you continue your support for survivors. We have education stations set up along the way to help with different pieces. And we have lots of fun going on when you return, the food trucks, music, and now we're going to turn it over to the mayor to kick off Strength and Strides.
Thank you, Crystal. So I'm going to ask everyone in just a moment to gather right over here under this inflatable arch in front of the entrance to the courthouse. But I want to just remind you all that, of course, freedom means different things to different people. For us this afternoon, we're all free to gather downtown and take a walk on a beautiful day. But I want to ask you, with every step that you take on this walk, every nice, wonderful step that you take on this beautiful day and enjoy being here with your friends, I want to ask you to, every step, think about victims of domestic violence, current victims and survivors who were unable to have the freedom to come out here and take these steps with us. But think about everyone you know who is a survivor of domestic violence, who is now free to take those steps, whether they're here with us today or wherever they are. Think about what freedom actually means within and without the home. And really internalize that as we enjoy this afternoon. I'm not telling you to be super somber, enjoy yourself, but in the back of your mind, be thinking about survivors who have not only survived, but who have become better and who have thrived because of the work of Peaceful Paths. So let's go over here to the arch and let's get ready to have a walk through downtown Gainesville.